But for now, let's take you to another developing story around how government are responding to traffic during this Easter long weekend. In an effort to try and manage the traffic at Beitbridge border, the Border Management Authority has now intensified its efforts. Dr. Mike Masiapato, who's the Commissioner for the Border Management Authority, is currently spearheading this operation, recognizing Beitbridge as one of the busiest ports in the country. To try and enhance security and efficiency there, over 400 guards, we're told, are being deployed in order to support the agency's initiatives. Let's get you a sense of what else is taking place. Bring in our reporter, Katlego Nyoni, who's been watching developments for us. Beitbridge, Katlego, has become notorious for snaking queues, with some people having to be there for days sometimes, given the inefficiencies at the port.
Well, certainly you are quite correct there, Ayan, that it has become notorious for snaky queues. However, the Border Management Authority has always maintained that they would like to see those queues sort of lessen towards the border post here at the Beitbridge. We know that towards the Easter is already upon us. Now, the Border Management Authority, led by its Commissioner, Dr. Mike Masiapato, are here today to sort of assess the state of readiness. We know that the BMA aims to also facilitate the safer movement of goods as well as people. Now, throughout the Easter period, they will be crisscrossing these border posts. I'm going to speak now to Dr. Mike Masiapato just to tell us about the walkabout that he has just conducted and the meeting, of course, that he has also held with some of the border officials. Thank you very much for joining us on SABC News. You have just conducted a meeting with port officials. Of course, the Easter is here. You want to make sure that the transportation of goods as well as the processing of people that are utilizing the border is done in a safer manner. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, firstly, we started this morning by engaging with the Port Management Committee, which is a committee that is inclusive of the various stakeholders that are actually present in this environment, that cuts across the various traffic authorities, mainly from the province, also from Musina here, including the colleagues from SARS, the colleagues from the police, as well as the colleagues from the Defence Force, including the colleagues obviously from the Border Management Authority. So we started engaging in terms of figuring out how they are intending to actually implement our festive plan, as it were. So to that extent, we had engaged on the plan in terms of how we're managing the corridor, in terms of the management of the traffic as they are coming through into the port. So all of that is going according to plan. As we speak, since this morning, we have also a roadblock that we have actually staged around Musina town in making sure that we stagger the movement of the traffic towards the port itself. So inside the port, we have brought in the additional capacity. You will remember we have also deployed around 400 border guards throughout the various ports in the Republic. But the most important ones here in Beitbridge, we have brought around 130 of them to be able to assist in access control in particular. So we have deployed a team on the south gate here at Beitbridge, but also we have deployed another team at the north gate. We have also developed some additional processing areas like the Manyeka bypass, where we have some additional colleagues that are helping in the processing of people that are exiting the country, as it were, on that side of the port.
And we know that the port of entry normally tends to get busy. We can see scores of people there just across from where we are. How problematic is the issue of undocumented migrants, unaccompanied minors? Is it still rife? We've seen some cases flare up in the past. Is that still occurring?
Yeah, the issue of illegal migration continues to be one of our biggest challenges that we had to deal with all the time. So even in this period, we are expecting that there will be some people who will be trying to come through and take chances, even at the point of exit. But the most biggest challenge we have on illegal migration is at the return leg, when people are supposed to return. But in any event, we have our border guards deployed on the vulnerable segments, where they are deployed together with members of the SANDF to deal with those individuals who will not come into the port but try to exit or even enter the country on the vulnerable segments. In terms of the issue relating to minors, indeed, we continue to intensify our work in the port, particularly in making sure that any minor that exit or even enter the Republic, they are doing that with the requisite documentation, but they are also traveling with the relevant parents or guardians as they are supposed to be. And by the way, this time around, we also have our colleagues from the Department of Social Development, both from national as well as from the province. So they are here as part of the conversation. They have also had discussions with their colleagues on the Zimbabwean side to make sure that in instances where we find children that are unaccompanied, we are able to process them accordingly and get them sent back into the Zimbabwean side so that they can be able to handle them. But there are those that will also take through into the country to be able to manage them accordingly.
We understand that about 5 children have so far, unaccompanied minors, have so far been intercepted. Do we know where they are currently?
Yeah, I was talking to our colleague, Madam Oliphant from the Department of Social Development. She just indicated that as we speak, those minors are being processed through into the country and they are being brought through into the social development colleagues here in Musina, and they are going to be taken care accordingly. From there, they are going to do the relevant processes to make sure that they are actually reconciled with their parents and their families.
Thank you. And Monday is Groblersbrug. Similar operations?
Yeah, indeed. On Monday, we will be in Groblersbrug, a port of entry on the other side, that is in the northwest, into Botswana. The reason why we are going to handle the return leg that side is because we are fairly aware that there are some of the people, because they know we have intensified our presence here, they try to enter Botswana from the Zimbabwean side and try to enter the country through Groblersbrug side into South Africa. That is why we are going that side to make sure that we are going to deal with issues of illegal migration that side entering into the Republic.
Dr. Mike Masiapato, thank you very much for your time there with SABC News. That is the Border Management Commissioner, Dr. Masiapato, talking to us about their Easter readiness plan, saying that on Monday they will conduct the return leg at the Groblersbrug border post that is dividing South Africa and Botswana, saying that here at the Beitbridge border post they have also increased capacity by deploying about an additional 130 or so border guards from the 400 or so that have been deployed. This is, of course, the state of readiness for the Easter. They are today monitoring that here at the Beitbridge border post. Ayanda?
All right, Katlego Nyoni, thanks very much indeed, and we'll keep watching developments with you as they continue to unfold. Katlego, as you heard there, is at the Beitbridge border post between South Africa and Zimbabwe.